What if you can map hundreds of pages in under 60 seconds? If you do local SEO, you're going to want to stick around for this. We have a new feature, site architecture. It's going to make your planning for local SEO sites that have multiple services, multiple locations, much easier. You're talking seconds instead of days or even weeks of setting up the best site structure for your client or for your own business. We're going to go back to brand foundation so you understand where we're starting from. So we have a local legal firm here focusing on personal injury. And down here, we have this business info section where we have your business name, your opening hours, your address, everything that should go into your local business schema. It's going to be here. So we have a few ways to populate that other than you filling it in by yourself by hand. So what we can do is we can add some source URLs here if they're not already filled in. And we'll add their About Us page and their home page, right? It's where most of the information will be. We have some default opening hours here. We have classifications here for different types of businesses. And this is all based on the local business schema. And then, of course, we have the primary category, which is what Google Business Profile gives. We have a nice and easy button here, Sync from Google Business Profile. If you connect your GBP here, you'll be able to fill in all this information as long as it's available in your GBP. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the source information from these source URLs, and it will replace this information here. But our brand information will be more detailed. Okay, so you can go ahead, toggle on Fetch Fresh Content from website. And what it's going to do is it'll take a minute. It's going to crawl your site and find all the information on your business. And it's going to really fill out your brand identity and your business information. All right, here we go. Let's see what we have here. Business info. We have our name, phone, email. There's no email on the site, so it's not set. Address. We have our opening hours. And then we have our classifications here. Legal service, personal injury, law firm. And if you ever want to adjust them, you can always come in, change it. You can change your business type. You can select specific types. And this is all based on the taxonomies that are available for the schema. So you can select attorneys there, personal injury. If you want to set your budget, your price range, establish year, let's say 2000. All right, go ahead and save it. If you ever want this copy button here, you will get a nice JSON schema available to you. Let me do that really quick for you and let you see what it looks like. So there you go. You have your nice schema right here. All the information is filled out right here. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so local business, perfect. You can add more locations, of course. Now let's head over to the buyer personas, the audiences. And we already have some buyer personas here, so we don't need to create any more. We have a good 5 here. Let's head over to site architecture. Now this is the new feature, right? This is the new feature where we're going to plan out your site. So what kind of site are you building? Are you building a local site with resource pages, like most often blog pages? Or are you building a local only site? And that just basically includes your services and locations and service+location pages. Or are you building a resources only? And this is the workflow that we already have in Floyi. And it goes through the topical research and everything, and all the way to clustering to topical map. But if you choose local site plus resources, we'll go through the topical research and clustering and topical map. Or if you want a local site only, after you fill this all out, you can skip right to the Topical Authority stage and start cranking out your content briefs and article drafts. But for this, let's go with local site only. So for your local site, first step now is to define your services and locations. So services, we have some here. Let me grab some of these personal injury law services. Then with locations, we also have some cities here. If your business covers multiple states, you're able to select this location format of state, city, neighborhood. You don't have to fill out each one, but you can. Or if you're all within one state, like we are with New York City here, and it's in one local area, we have the city neighborhood. So you could see the differences in the URL structure here. If we want New York, we can always add New York and then a little arrow. And that'll tell our agents that we need to add states. And this will add the states to the URL structures. But for now, since we're all in New York, we're going to go with the city neighborhood. For neighborhood, we could add in something like Soho. We could also, let's say, copy this and add in a West Village. Okay, and then you can do that with the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. If there are neighborhoods in your cities, you can always do that and create extra pages for them. And then down here, if you already have a live page that lists all your locations and it's a pain to copy and paste, go ahead and put your URL here and we'll crawl your page and the agents will set all these locations up for you. Then next step, configure your URL structure that you want. So we have services and we have locations, right? Do you want a subfolder prefix for your services and for your locations? A lot of times people want something like this, services and then personal injury. Other times people may just want personal injury. So you can turn that on and off here. If you want to turn it off, there's no prefix with services. You want to turn it on? We'll turn it on for now. And it's your choice. You can write in whatever you have. There's treatments, there's solutions here, there's services, locations. You can add in anything you want. Add in areas if you do it that way, or if you prefer service areas, that's also good. But let's say we don't need the subfolder for locations. Let's skip that. Now we have service plus location pages. So if you want a New York City personal injury, a New York City construction accident, New York City motorcycle accidents, right? If you want to create these specific pages, you're able to do that with this service and location pages. And you'll be able to see how many pages that will be. So there are 9 services, 7 locations, and 63 pages. So let's turn that on so you can see what it looks like. And then you have another choice here. What kind of URL structure do you want? Do you want a cleaner nested path with state, city, and service? Or do you want a combined path? Because a lot of local sites also do city-service. So it would be New York City-personal injury. It's up to you. I personally like the cleaner nested paths. It's easier for readers, it's easier for machines to read that data, right? And understand the hierarchical structure of your site. Then down here, replace existing pages. You don't need that because there's no existing sites. There's no existing pages that we've created yet. And then the next thing to do is just to click the generate URL structure. So this will take a few seconds and we'll see all the URLs there. And then add pages manually. You can always add individual pages one at a time or bulk. If you add in bulk, you just have to add your title, your slug, the type of page it is. We have services hub, service, subservice, location, state, city, neighborhood, markets, service plus location, pricing pages, process pages, your how it works pages, your FAQs, your reviews, case studies, about page, contact page. Those are all pages that are very common with any business sites. All right, and there we go. We have our full site architecture here for all the pages. You can see it this way with the table view, or if you want a more hierarchical with like an outline, more of a view. Let's do this, close in. So under the Bronx, we have Bronx car accidents, Bronx construction accidents. These are all the service location pages. And then same with Brooklyn, Long Island. You have all your pages. And you can see here, we have New York City, Soho, and then your specific car accidents in Soho, right? Construction accidents in Soho. Same with West Village here. Let's see, and down here we have the services. We have car accidents, and here we have our URL prefix here with services, and then construction accidents. So Staten Island. Now, here's what I was saying before. Let's put it back to normal view. So if you wanted to add more pages here, let's say we want to add an About Us page. And you could change the slug if you just want About. You could do that. And then we have all these different page types. Let's say we have an About page. The parent, you can put it under any of these, but of course we want it off the root. And then a Contact Us page. And this can be the contact here. Again, we don't need a parent. Now, if you want, what other pages do you want here? Maybe you want a case studies, because lots of cases, right? So we create a case studies page. No parent, just off the root again. Add some. You can add, if you add row, you can just add more pages in bulk here. Alphabetical order. Case studies is here. Contact is here. And About Us is here. Now, since this is a local site only, we can skip right to Topical Authority. You have the same option settings here as the resource page workflow. You pick your brand aliases. Maybe you also have a brand alias of Rosenbaum Lawyers. So we can add that in. And here, do you want to track your Google AI mode for your pages, ChatGPT for your pages? You can also set up a primary query pattern. And these are the ones that are going to be used as the search query for many of your pages as the default pattern. For example, let's say your service page is personal injury in Soho. Instead of typing it all out in all those fields, it'll automate this primary query. And then you can also choose secondary queries. And these will be used as additional keywords that will be used when other pages are internally linking to these pages. You can choose from these different patterns, or you can add your own. And you can just add in the variables here for service, location, city, neighborhood, and brand. Do you want to track any of these pages? Let's say you want to track service and location, service pages, sure. City pages, neighborhood pages, sure. Do you want to track the locations hub and services hub? I probably wouldn't. Do you want to include these branded queries for non-search pages? Maybe you're targeting them. So maybe you want them to rank for certain things and you're keeping track of them. And then for search locale, you want to track where your business is. So New York, New York. And then do you want to schedule something? You can schedule it weekly, daily even. We don't need it. Settings saved. Let's click out. And then you go ahead and click calculate now and watch video. But I'm going to look at another brand because I've already done all that. It's going to take some time to analyze, to fetch all the SERPs and AI mode, AI overviews, and ChatGPT for all of those keywords and queries. So what we're going to do is I'll switch over to another project that is still for this brand. So same legal firm. It's just a different project because we already have a lot of this data. So you can see the topical authority scores, content authority, market authority, AI authority. Content authority just because we haven't published anything based off of our little topical map here. And you can see all the rankings, all the mentions and citations and everything. And in Planner, now this is where we have a local plus resource site. You'll see the resources up here and then local pages. You can minimize it if you're focusing on the local pages. Click expand. You can see all the Bronx, Brooklyn, car accidents in Bronx, construction accidents. So you could see the patterns, the service in city setup. And you can see the Brooklyn city. If you just typed in Brooklyn into a search query, that's probably not going to get you much of anything. And you can see here These yellow dots means that there is no primary search query for these pages yet. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to adjust it for actual search queries that will be used. If you click this eye icon with the yellow dot, you'll see a new section here, page details. You'll see the URL path, the URL slug, what kind of page type it is, and the primary query. Click the edit button and you can change your primary queries. So when the SERPs and the AI search responses are being fetched, this is what it's going to use. Okay, so in Bronx, let's just say personal injury lawyers, Bronx, New York. Click save. All right, so now you'll see this, it doesn't change the title here, so it still keeps it very clear. Everything here is for the Bronx locations and service pages. What you can do is click the generate content brief, and you'll see up here the query that we just added is personal injury lawyers, Bronx, New York. Now, because we didn't fetch any SERPs for this keyword yet, what we can do is just click on this refetch SERPs and it will fetch the SERPs. Same with the fetch latest AI mode and fetch latest ChatGPT. All that information is in there. All you need to do is click it and it will fetch everything in there. All right, and there we go. So now that we have the SERPs, we can go through and select some of the ones we want, all right? Bronx here. Pick any additional keywords you want to use. Click links, and of course your suggestions with links. We have include any external links that all the competitors might use, and where do we want to link to with our sibling topics. So let's link to New York City and Brooklyn, and you can select the different anchors here. For this one, I don't think we have any anchors here that we additionally added. And then you could select your children topics to link to. You can link to a couple of them, and you click generate brief. And for our local pages, we have specific templates for content briefs and for article drafts that we use. For our resources and our local pages, say you want to see only local pages, resource pages, you can do that there. If you're an organizer, you can always add more pages that we're missing. So this is another site that has a little bit more in terms of content briefs and article drafts that have been created already. And this site has local pages plus resource pages. So let's take a look at these content briefs, right? So back pane in Lower Manhattan is the service+location page. And you can see that we still have a lot of the same things with our content brief. We have our brand information, we have our strategic foundation of this article, the search intent, the buyer journey stage, the target audience, right? And we know this is a convinced strategic intent because it has the focus of converting. Suggested word count, images, and then we have the core topics that need to be discussed, key entities that we need for parity against your competitors, plus additional ones that they don't have. So we have everything here, differentiation strategy, all the keywords to use, the internal links to use, and you could see our content brief. It always starts with a hero, right? Because you have to fill something there above the fold. And this is a chiropractic clinic. So we have Lower Manhattan, community ties, neighborhoods, emergency back pain, conservative care, interventional and escalation guide, warning signs and red flags for lower back pain. We have our access and directions, payer guidance and cost transparency, a lot of FAQs, and then, of course, book an appointment and request service. So let's go ahead and take a look at the article itself. So you can see everything is written out. Now the hero section is going to be written out, but this is one where you'll want to, depending on your design of these service pages, you'll want to adjust it. But all the information into here, it looks at all the brand context from your brand identity plus all your business information to fill out all this. You'll want to double check the access and directions. So you can see here the clinic address is here. And if you had a lot of this information in your brand identity, the agents will fill it out, right? So if you have your fees list here, they'll probably pick out the fees for lower back pain treatments. It'll probably fill it out there. You have your FAQs, your book an appointment. Our phone numbers are all here. The different neighborhoods that we service all here. And of course, adding in your local business schema is going to be very important. So you can always insert it here. If you just click insert snippet, it's right here at the top, local business schema. And this is something you just copy and paste into your page. And we also have other snippets here. So these are snippets, and I'll show you in a second, that are reusable snippets that you can use on any page of your site. This is a short about us, primary CTA, affiliate disclosure, or AI disclosures. Let me go back to the brand that we just created. We're back here because this one has no rules set up yet, and I wanted you to see this. So you can start with a starter kit so you could see what each of these are for. We have terminology rules, compliance rules, competitor and comparison guidelines, brand messaging, approved snippets. And this is the approved snippets where in the content editor, you're able to select them. And you can always start blank or click use a starter kit. And for use a starter kit, it's going to populate all the sections with some basic rules that you can use, or you can, of course, you can edit and delete. If you don't want the term AI writer, you can always change it to AI powered assistant. And the severity of it. So let's see what it looks like. You can always enter a term to avoid and what it should be. So instead of AI writer here, it would be content assistant. Severity level, you must replace it. Or if you just don't want the AI to use certain terms, you can always forbid it. And then you can always discourage it. Forbidden is never allowing it. Discouraged is it might still get through, but it won't use it a lot. Compliance rules, these are different sets of rules. General marketing compliance, you don't want to make these kind of claims. You don't want to make these guaranteed claims or risk-free claims or overnight success claims. If you have disclosures you want to add in, you're always passing this into the agents and they'll be able to read this. If you have comparison pages, you could set specific comparisons. So this is a rule for when you're doing comparisons. You want to lead with value, use factual data, avoid negative claims. And then if you have specific competitors, you can always set the policy for them. So for competitor A, we want neutral mentions, or we want to use them only when it's a direct versus comparison article, or you want to take the high road and say, we acknowledge that they do have some good qualities there. They have good features or good services there. And then, of course, you can always say, don't ever mention this competitor. And the approved snippets. So this is already pre-populated with your brand. And then, of course, since the lawyers don't create strategy-aligned content, we would need to change it. Primary CTA, of course, we need to change affiliate links, AI disclosure, all there. So these are a lot of new features that we just released. And a lot of it is just based around local businesses. And that's pretty much it. For local SEO, you have a lot of new options now. You have a lot more customizations when writing. These aren't things that you're just tacking on at the end, because all this brand context that we've created, your brand identity, the content guide, it's all used when we need it, right? So if you head over to buyer personas, it's all there. You head over to topical research, all your topics are going to be based off your broad target audience, your individual buyer personas. Once you head over to the Topical Authority section, you start building your briefs and your drafts that are there to fulfill the needs of your audience. That is it. That's the local SEO components to this. Give it a try, and all this is going to really speed up your planning and execution of your local sites.